it's time for another transformation with characters from the amazing Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, my children.
Hands off! Who do you think you are anyway, Pops?
Why, yes, I am your father, children.
On this occasion, we're going to be recreating their alter egos, the Rowdyruff boys, with Lego. So here they are, and we'll be making Boomer, Brick, and Butch, who of course were created by Mojo Jojo with snips and snails and puppy dog tails. So, let's get started. Come with me. As you can see, we've painted all of our Lego figures with white acrylic paint as a base. So first, we're going to make his hair with a piece of air dry clay. Let's place it on his head and mold it with our fingers. He has long hair like Blossom, so let's shape it at the back. He always wears a cap, so time to add that. We'll use some more air dry clay for this, and here we're placing it on his head. He always has his cap sideways, so we'll make the peak on one side like so. Now it's time to start painting. Once the clay is dry, we'll paint the hat with some candy apple red acrylic paint, and we're using an ultra thin paintbrush. Remember that when painting our Lego, we always use thin brushes because of all the tiny details. Time to paint his hair now. We're using this carrot orange acrylic paint for this. We'll use the same candy apple red acrylic paint to paint his top, just leaving his hands unpainted.
And furthermore, every Wednesday will be Pretzel Day. Hello, Blossom. Goodbye, Blossom. Hello, Bubbles. Goodbye, Bubbles. Hello, Buttercup. Goodbye, Buttercup.
And we'll paint his pants with jet black acrylic paint. And his shoes too. We'll add the soles of his shoes with white acrylic paint, as well as the little details for the laces. Just 2 little dots will do. Take your time with the super tiny details like this. With an ultra thin paintbrush or a modelling tool, let's add the stripe that goes across his top. We'll paint his hands with pale peach acrylic paint. And his face too. With a tiny little piece of air dry clay, let's add the little button that's on the very top of his cap, which will also paint candy apple red, of course. Now for the details of his face. So we'll start with 2 white dots for his eyes. He has bright red eyes like his outfit, so we're going to add 2 slightly smaller dots for his irises like this. And 2 little dots for his pupils. We're using a pointy modelling tool for these small details. And to finish his eyes, we'll add 2 even tinier white dots to give his eyes a little shine. Time to add his eyebrows. Remember, these are the evil alter egos of the Powerpuff Girls. So we have to give him angry eyebrows with 2 little lines like this. And of course, he also needs an evil smirk and a little gap in his cap. Finally, let's add a coat of clear nail polish to his face to make it shine. And here he is! You can definitely see he's the evil version of Blossom.
We're the Rowdyruff boys, and we want to fight! What's up with those guys?
We did a great job with the details, especially the hair and cap. And his angry face too, of course. Now let's move on to Boomer, Bubbles' alter ego. Let's begin with his hair too. So we'll shape it around his head like so. His hair should be around chin length. Just like Bubbles, he has bright blonde hair, so let's use some butter yellow acrylic paint for this. Now let's paint his top with royal blue acrylic paint. As I'm sure you've noticed, the Rowdyruff boys wear darker coloured versions of the Powerpuff Girls outfits. I guess this could be to show their dark side. Now let's paint his pants with jet black. And we'll add his black shoes too. So who do you think is the most evil of the Rowdyruff boys? Let me know in the comments below. And now the little white details on the soles of the shoes, as well as the little lace details. And of course, he needs the black stripe across his top. Take your time and try to make it as straight as possible.
Kick in the afterburner!
Next we'll use a little pale peach acrylic paint to paint his hands. And his face too. Just as we did with his brother, let's add his eyes, starting with 2 white dots. We'll use the same royal blue colour for his irises. Add 2 dots in the middle of the white. And then 2 little black dots too. And lastly, the 2 tiny little white dots for the shine of his eyes. With the very thin modelling tool, or a needle if you don't have one, let's add the angry eyebrows. Wow, he actually looked quite sweet before we added them. What a difference! And now let's give him an evil little smile too. And finally, let's add some clear nail polish to the face. And here's the evil little Boomer.
I guess we'll just have to serve it up.
I think his facial features are great. Super evil. He couldn't be more different to Bubbles in that respect. She's so sweet. Time for our final transformation of the day. So this is going to be Butch, Buttercup's alter ego. So again, let's start with the hair, shaping our air dry clay around his head. Using our modelling tool, we made his hair super spiky, just like the original. Now that the clay is dry, we'll paint it with jet black acrylic paint. For his top, we're going to use this pretty emerald green colour. And then we'll paint his pants jet black. And his shoes too. And we'll add the white for the soles as well. And the tiny white dots for the laces. Next, let's paint the black line across his top as well. We'll paint his hands with pale peach acrylic paint. As well as his face. Although they're all equally evil, I think Butch is definitely the most destructive of his brothers. We're almost done, guys. Now let's add the details for his face. So first the 2 white dots for the eyes. And now 2 emerald green dots that match the top. His little black pupils. And the white dots for the shine. He also needs to look more evil than this, so time for his eyebrows. Same as with his brothers, just 2 straight lines pointing inwards to make it look like he's furrowing his brows. And of course his evil grin. It looks like he's planning something very evil, right? And finally, let's add a thin coat of clear nail polish to his face. Let's see how Butch turned out. He looks like just as much of a troublemaker as his brothers. I like how we made his hair spiky, and the green we used is just like the original. Really great transformation, guys. Here we have the 3 evil brothers, the Rowdyruff boys, made of snips and snails and puppy dog tails. But I think they look really good. On this side we've Boomer with his bright blonde hair and evil grin. In the middle it's Brick with his cap and long hair. I think he's my favourite of the day. And finally, Butch, of course, with his cool spiky hair and mean stare. Well guys, if you like this video, don't forget to tell us in the comments below which was your favourite. Give us a like, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. And don't forget to share it with all your friends. We love you all so much. Bye!